Hello and welcome to the Soft Sell Show, a podcast about business, software and technology. Hello and welcome to the Soft Sell Show with Richard White, and I'm joined today by Michael Godsmark from Woodville Accounting. Hi Michael, are you alright?
Yeah, I'm very good, thanks Richard.
Perfect. First of all, tell us a bit about your business and what services you offer, locally and obviously further afield.
Yeah, so my name's Michael, as you said, from Woodville Accountancy. We did have a big debate actually when we were getting our new website between accounting and accountancy, and apparently accountancy sounds more inclusive. That's what our guy told us. Apparently. Right. But I'm not a marketer. You'll be able to tell me more.
But you are obviously, you're one of our suppliers, so we use you guys for quite a lot of different things. So under an accounting banner is a lot of, it's basically business intelligence really of, the feedback from your existing clients.
100%. Yeah. So we're quite a generalist practice, I guess. There's 7 of us in the office. Started off from me on my own 8 years ago. But what we do have is like what I built up over the last few years is like a wide network for more specialist services. So it's not uncommon for us to link in with a top 10 firm, like top 10 globally, to sort of ask them for help and advice on anything that might be outside of our scope. Like services we provide is everything from your general compliance led work, such as year-end accounts, payroll, bookkeeping, to now we're moving more to sort of like an advisory led service, I guess.
And we've seen that as well from obviously using you guys. You are there to advise and kind of guide as well.
Yeah, 100%. Because we act for hundreds of businesses, so we get to see right inside those businesses, and we speak closely to most of the business owners that we deal with. So we understand what's going on day to day, not just on your account side and when you need to pay your tax and all that sort of stuff, but like what your actual problems are in terms of employing people or, I don't know, cash flow issues, juggling director's loan account payments, just everything.
Solutions for them.
Yeah, 100%. And then we can obviously not discuss what's happening in a specific business. No. But then take a more generalist approach and say, well, another one of our customers had an issue like that and they dealt with it like this. Yeah. Have you considered it? And that might not always be the answer, but sometimes it can unlock a way of thinking. Because if you're quite, not fixed in your mindset, but you've only looked at a problem from one way or thought about it for too long, then that can sometimes hinder you progressing. So. Okay,
perfect. So you would say you're more of a, you labelled as an accountant, but you are more of a consultant-led accountancy.
Yeah, I guess we're not really sort of. I guess what we do, and even now, we've added a new service off the back of a couple of other accounting firms that we listened to quite closely. So I won't call myself a forward-thinking accountant, but I do try and go on courses with some of our. Like one of our suppliers in particular, called Go Proposal. That's how we do all our pricing. And the accountancy firm that set that up, my accountancy place, I think is an innovative firm. Yeah. And I went on a course with them last year. And speaking on that course was a guy called Will Farnell from Farnell Clark. They won Accountancy Firm of the Year in the Accountancy Age Business Awards or Accountancy Awards. Yeah. And they were talking there about what they call daily bookkeeping. I never even considered that. No. And it's transforming our business. It's taking us from just doing, say, a VAT return at quarter end to sort of dealing with transactions on a daily basis.
Like you do for us.
Yeah, exactly that, And that's something we could never have done
without that
4 or 5 years ago. And even now, we're going to rebrand it. We were talking about it just a few days ago in the office. Away from daily bookkeeping, which sounds quite old school. It sounds like someone sat there with a ledger book to cloud accounting. Yeah. So we're going to have cloud accounting customers, I think, or something like that. So, So like we just said, you just said on our podcast about you don't like to label up as consultants. It sounds quite, you have an image, don't you? Which I don't think
you can call yourself that, can you? Because other people should be calling it you rather than yourself labeling it.
Yeah. So
you are. You've got a lot of knowledge to share.
Yeah, and it probably upsets my staff no end, but I like to think of us as quite a dynamic business where we're almost, not a software business, but a software-led business, I guess, and using software to create new services, because I think if you don't in this day and age, you're going backwards.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, that's what, our podcasts are based on is technology, and obviously not just our software systems that we sell, but in general, how, AI and software is changing every business. And if you're not getting on board with a software platform to run your processes or create new services, you are going to go backwards or get a shock when people start choosing these more savvy, more data-led businesses.
Yeah, definitely.
Who are using cloud-based platforms.
Yeah, definitely. And James Ashford, the guy who set up Go Proposal, he's said recently that disruption, as much as accountants think that disruption has happened in the industry with QuickBooks and Xero sort of coming into the marketplace, he said true disruption hasn't properly happened yet. Yeah. And he said it will come. Yeah. So,
as the systems advance.
Yeah, 100%. Because I don't think we've got proper AI.
No. It's on its way.
Some firms are doing it, like Farnell Clarks, and I think UHY, they've got a really good cloud accounting department now and they're growing that really quick. So I think they're using tools like Fluidly, Chaser, and they are AI-led systems. Yeah. We're just a little bit behind them in terms of...
But you're getting there.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
Because one day, do you foresee that as a customer of yours, I could just have a software package that does it all for me?
Yeah.
And then you've got to... No, but then you've got to think, but then where do what am I pitching still?
Yeah. I think ultimately, and I think about this a lot, I think, and this might change because we both got children now, and I think it might change for our children, so I might only have 15 to 20 years left at it. Yeah. But I think currently people still like to deal with people. Yeah. And I don't think that's going to change in the next, I don't think it's going to change in the next 15 to 20 years. And do you ever listen to Gary Vee or watch any Gary Vee
stuff? I don't, to be honest, no. But no. I know who he is. Yeah.
I was watching one of his videos and he was talking about how I think he was talking about his view of technology is 20 years ago. And he always says like the big changes always take longer than what you think they're going to take. Yeah. So like AI will come in and like Fluidly showing that in terms of intelligent cash flow, I think, as they label it up as. But I do think it'll still take a while to replace a decent spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I mean, that someone needs to understand.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, the software platforms now, like that you use, obviously you're a massive, ambassador for QuickBooks online, aren't you?
Yeah, we're their biggest partner. I think next to Moore and Smalley, who are a big firm, like top 50 firm in the country. But I think in this area, we've got like 140 customers or something on QuickBooks. On QuickBooks.
And so what that move, because obviously I remember when I first started with you were using something else.
Yeah, ClearBooks.
So obviously talking of software platforms and, changing and putting that change through your business, what kind of problems did you have? Were there any, or why did you change? Were you not happy with something?
Yeah, so like...
Was it features? Was it the support?
Yeah, I mean, when ClearBooks... Well, I guess it's going back to 2013, 14, when I first started out, I was working on my own. I was going on, obviously CPD type courses where I started to hear about Making Tax Digital, which is now in place for VAT. And it was then 2014, 15. I thought I need to be getting on this now and trying to implement these systems. So what I did was I went to Accountex, which is the accountants annual conference, which isn't as boring as it sounds.
Sounds all right.
Yeah. It was down in London. It was good for me because we were talking about working on your own before. I'd get to go meet other accountants, other people, see what's doing it. Yeah, see other software providers. Yeah. And I spoke with the main players, so there was like Xero, ClearBooks, QuickBooks.
Did QuickBooks have online then?
Yes. They did? Yeah, like QuickBooks are huge. Yeah. Like in the States, they've got like something like 1 billion.
I know, but I'm sure they were an installed version for...
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So
when did they go to online?
I'm not sure.
I don't think it's been that. I don't think it's been ages.
No, so...
Because they're hard to move.
I looked at Sage as well, and I guess initially we just started moving our VAT customers onto it. And but it was a couple of customers that were on QuickBooks before we looked at it. And when I started getting into it, I realised how user-friendly it was from a customer perspective.
Yeah.
And there is a big debate amongst accountants on Xero versus QuickBooks. And most accountants do side, well, on the forums I look at, do side with Xero. But I think that's because it reminds them of the old days of accountant speak.
Yeah.
But going back to usability, I think about it from a customer perspective. Yeah. And back then we didn't have a daily bookkeeping service. So I was thinking, how can we minimise the amount of calls that come into us? And how can I make a customer's life easier so that they're not getting upset with the system that we advise them that they can go on to? Because you do always get people who get upset and about change, and you've got to try and manage that as best as possible, especially in a small business. And I knew we'd got it right when our web developer rung me up, so we'd moved in from ClearBooks to QuickBooks, and he rung me up complaining that QuickBooks was too easy. And he felt like it wasn't work for him anymore. And I thought then, well, that is the right move.
Yeah, because we had both. We had was it
ClearBooks,
which wasn't terrible, you know. It's still linked with
Go
Cardless, which is massive for our
great.
business.
They just couldn't get the scale.
Okay.
And because QuickBooks had so much cash, and you can tell that they were just getting market share based on basically giving accountants cheaper licenses. Which is how. So
is it because it was cheaper that you moved, or was it this?
It was the usability.
What was missing to make you move on ClearBook?
What was missing from ClearBooks?
Yeah, what made you move?
They just didn't have the scale.
Right. What do you mean by that?
They couldn't get. There was one API or two APIs they couldn't get moving quick enough.
Right.
I think they had auto entry, but not receipt bank.
Right.
It was something like that, and the receipt bank integration. It was something like. I remember one of our customers, and they could see all the customers' data for Receipt Bank, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And
there was something missing in a process that you were trying to create to make your life or the business more profitable.
Yeah. Ultimately, and make customers' lives easier because, like, back then because we only had a little office, we still only have a little office, and we were getting like. I had a room for files.
Oh dear,
yeah.
Well, that's traditional, isn't it?
And customers were bringing us like rafts of stuff, and we were I was paying someone to type them out, and I just thought there's got to be a better way. And we went to it was Receipt Bank initially because I'd not heard of auto entry at the time. Yeah. And
I think a few of our clients use that.
Receipt Bank. Yeah, and it might be something we're moving to because auto entry have just been acquired by Sage.
Have they?
Yeah, I know.
So what, you can't, they're just going to lock it down?
No, I don't think so. They're just trying to get market because Sage have lost a lot of market share.
I'm not surprised. Yeah. We've got quite a lot of clients who will use Sage because they're quite traditional businesses.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
A few have moved over to QuickBooks on our,
Sage,
what we've told
Sage does a lot of stuff. But what it won't do, to my knowledge, at least on Sage 50, which is the one that I trained on 15, 16 years ago, is that long? Yeah, wow. Is import bank, which now is just like what? You can't just.
I told you I was looking to move banks to Starling.
Yes,
but they won't link with QuickBooks.
I think. Well, I know Tide
up,
yeah.
But Starling,
no, it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. But again, that's a frustration, isn't it?
And that's the API. They didn't have the direct bank APIs. You had with ClearBooks, you had to go through something called it was a US platform. So we were asking customers to export CSVs, which is fine. Like I could ask you to do that, but we look after, say, a lot of builder customers who aren't as tech savvy, and a lot of the time they're doing it on a night time when they can't contact us. And we're saying, can you download from this date to this date? And then you get an email, how do I download? I can't see where they'll export a PDF, and we get a PDF. And at the time, like now with auto entry, you can import a PDF and it'll turn it into a CSV, which has been great for our self-assessments because we've been getting printouts of customers' bank statements. And rather than going backwards and forwards to a customer, I've just been saying to the guys in the office, just upload it to auto entry. Don't worry about the credits. It'll save us that time going backwards and forwards. And just making it slicker for a customer.
Do you think, obviously, as a software provider ourselves, do you think without software you'd be as successful as you are today?
Us as a business?
Yeah.
No.
Do you think you'd be here?
No.
And that proves it proves a big thing though, that the value that software adds to businesses, including ours, that we use, providers that we've not developed the software ourselves. We use providers for CRM. That it's not our own CRM. We pay for a software platform, so we value it from other providers as well. But I actually do think it is that critical, that especially for businesses that work in the sectors that we provide our software to.
Yeah.
If you do not start moving away from that paper-based trail, you are going to end up either not here or losing a lot of business.
Yeah, so like MTD came into effect properly last year, so 2019. It was April 2019, and there's basically like a soft launch where the revenue aren't going to issue any penalties for non-compliance. Yeah. And I guess you ask, would I be here? Would we still be accountants? Yeah, I think we would. Would we have customers like you? Yeah. No, I don't think we would. And other forward-thinking customers. Yeah. Because there are firms out there who'll still use VT and paper-based systems. And we've had customers come to us and they've been to accountants local to us, and they've no idea about the changes, no, and they're just not getting on board with it. But with MTD, if you start off with a digital, let's say you've got an EPOS system in a bar or restaurant that records a digital sale of you buying some drinks or food or whatever it is that you're buying from there, if that starts off digitally, it's got to finish off without any rekeying of data, ultimately. There's a bit more to it. Yeah. Now, even QuickBooks now is still, especially if you've got to export CSV, then import CSV, they're still sort of getting that bit of the tech right. But, I mean, a lot of these systems now, I think there's what's it called? The Goodtilco, I think it's called. Got a direct API into QuickBooks. Click a button, import the data. Was it QuickBooks Connect, which is QuickBooks' conference, which is really interesting. We're going again next month. And one of the firms who was speaking on the main stage, like this firm won Firm of the Year for QuickBooks, like real decent firm, like one we look up to. They were talking, based in Brighton, they were talking about off Goodtilco, they're able to get data that tells an ice cream shop what flavours sell at what times on different days. Yeah. So now they know that, say, Tuesday afternoon they're going to sell Raspberry Ripple. So they advertise themselves as the freshest ice cream shop in Brighton. And I imagine, I've never been to Brighton, but I imagine there's a lot of ice cream shops, but they can differentiate themselves on that basis.
Yeah. And that's AI, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
And that's what we do. We can build APIs, and our software links with QuickBooks now. Sage 50 isn't. Yeah. It can't. Sage 50 when it's installed, it can't be like an automatic link.
No, because it's like server based, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on their server. So again,
What about Sage 1? Can you link with any of those?
We can link with any cloud based platform can link. But we also do export. So if you're in Husky, for example, and you want to export your invoices to Sage, you click of a button, you can download the right file that will go straight into Sage.
Even that now sounds like
nice. It sounds
it sounds
nice, but it's not nice compared to just just click a synchronize button and it goes across. But that's cloud based and the APIs and that's what we do for our customers. But is there anything that you have now where there's processes that you're thinking of and you think, I can't do that, or I wish I could do that? And what's stopping you looking at doing those things to get, like that ice cream shop, to get that differential? I mean, you've got stuff that other people can just go and buy off the shelf, like
100%.
Auto entry. Would you ever think about developing your own internal small apps or small, pieces of AI that are going to make you different from anyone? No one can have it because you built it yourself.
Not so much AI, because there are sort of KPI management tools out there that, and the names I can't remember the name of one of them, Futurely, but it's spelt a really weird way, Futrli. I've seen the demos for it. It looks amazing. And it's not just the fees, £200 a month, because there is a setup, there is we're talking before about setup costs, there's a setup cost and then a monthly fee. It's like, we've just been catching up on systems back in the office. Right. So now over the past year, anyone who's not been on QuickBooks has been moved to QuickBooks. Yeah. Anyone who's not on auto entry has been moved on to auto entry. We've taken on a couple new members of staff, and, with more experience, I guess, which is then helping the younger members of staff in the office. And one big thing we've been able to do, because we spoke about outsourcing, offshoring before, we've now got an outsourced team based in India that we're not actually using this month in January or last month in January. We've not needed to with the extra 2 members of staff. Yeah. We've now got that ability to...
Like a bridging thing, isn't it?
To scale up,
It's like a bridging scale up.
Yeah, so now that's freed up some of Callum's time. So Callum from next month after QuickBooks Connect, he's going to have like a day a week focusing on like learning more about the apps, because what I did like sort of last year was with a few customers would say, yeah, we can do all this stuff. Yeah. But then you've got to catch up on the training in the office. Yeah. And that's why we just decided just to go with QuickBooks. If someone comes to us now and says, we want you to do our zero bookkeeping, we won't do it.
You've got to move.
Yeah. Whereas we've got a customer in this building actually who uses Xero, but they have an in-house FD who does their own bookkeeping, which is great. We can still, jump onto the other side. Yeah.
So you can only get the cloud bookkeeping if you're a QuickBooks customer.
Off us.
Yeah.
QuickBooks auto entry.
Well, that shows how passionate you are about that product, though.
Yeah, it's great. And they're adding things on, like they've just added the mileage tracking across the app. They're actually bringing in their own receipt scanning software into the app.
So you don't need auto entry anymore.
Potentially not. Yeah. So, they did speak about that last year at QBC at the conference. So it'd be interesting because it's still not out yet. Yeah. And I'm not sure it's going to work the same way auto entry does. Because for us, a big thing about it is ease of use for a customer. Like I said, some of our customers have run haulage businesses where they're working 7 days a week. Yeah. They haven't got time for something difficult. If we're asking them to do something, it has to be easy for them to do, or else it won't get done. Okay. But we also, with any new customers who are going to do their own bookkeeping, because we do get that, like, because our fees have gone up, and they'll say, okay, as a new customer, how can we save some money? Be like, you do your own bookkeeping. We train them up the way we would do it. So then if and when they want us to take it over, and I'm just about to have a call at 4:30 today on this, they're just passing it back to us, and they're not passing it to us back in like a messy way, because we've trained them up the right way.
And is that do you charge for that training or
no?
No, because it is helping you get involved with it a bit more.
Yeah. I mean, it's something we're going to think about. Like what we do with a new customer is give them up to 2 hours. Like I've created a video bank.
I've seen that.
Yeah, so I've created a video bank, which is probably a bit outdated now. The screens have all changed on QuickBooks. Yeah. So we give them that. And then we say, once you've watched them videos, we'll give you up to 2 hours free in the office. And it's just a way of answering any sort of quirky questions.
So do you think, even though you're obviously just referring them to a system, you are really becoming an expert on QuickBooks? That's what you are as a company.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
It's a software platform that runs, basically helps you run every process.
And the reporting we can get out of it is so much slicker than what you can get out of Sage that I can run reports and know in a few minutes the health of the business.
And we're not trying to sell QuickBooks here on this podcast. No. You know, we're not providers of it or whatever, but it's just, we're trying to get to a point here where we're talking about how software is actually that ingrained. It is your business.
Yeah, 100%. Like, there's another service that we've, so you asked, is there anything I'm thinking about building or adding on? And it'd be great if you've got any tips. But,
we'll build it for you.
Yeah. We've just started doing quarterly review meetings, or I've just started doing quarterly review meetings, and we have, I don't know, to 10 customers on that at the moment. And the idea is to start building KPI dashboards off the back of it, and having a checklist of tasks that we agree that the customer's going to do. But I want like a back end,
like a web portal. For your customer.
Web portal, and the only way I can think about doing it at the moment that's a low cost way just to see if it works is to create like a Google sheet or something. Yeah.
I mean, you could do, you could just have a login on your website and have people go in with a unique, their login. And that's the way of communicating.
Yeah.
With customers. I mean, we've built a web portal for one of our customers, where they can, they're basically got a traffic light schedule. And the customer, I could log on and say, right, when are they coming? Oh, they've done that. It's gone green. It's gone blue. And it's real time.
Yeah. So we've got like a CRM that, an online CRM that we use. We used to have all like server-based software for accounts, tax, and the CRM side. But we've moved now to like an online portal. We do have that, but I'm not sure it's got like that task functionality. I've just started using TickTick for my, task list and keeping track of what I'm doing when. So yeah, it's just, I'm always looking for.
That's good though, isn't it? And that's why you're on the edge of kind of the accountancy, and probably why we use you, like you said, because we want automation really.
Yeah.
We've not got time to do our own bookkeeping, to make sure everything's, right. And even though there might be a tiny bit of manual checking this day and age, it's a lot less.
Well, you want that. And like for me, I think the role of an accountant is changing because the people, they want to know the books are right and the bank's balance and all that sort of stuff. But I think customers want to know what that means. Like how much profit have I made year to date? Where's that compared to last year? What's my wage cost percentage? Yeah. So like we can look, and we'll often pick up on these things. Like sometimes I'm sometimes like described as a grim reaper going into businesses because it's not uncommon for me to go and have a chat with a customer and say, look, you're spending too much on your wages. What's everyone doing for you?
Yeah.
And like, obviously I'm not going to name names, but there's been 2 or 3 customers in the last 12 months where I've come away and they've got rid of members of staff.
Changes off the back of it.
Yeah. And they've needed to.
Yeah.
But that information in the past would you be telling a customer that 9 months after a year end?
Oh yeah, because it'd take you that long to work it out.
So it could be 21 months after that's happened, which now is no longer acceptable.
Yeah. And also, like, that's one big thing. KPIs is a massive thing for every business.
Yeah.
They need knowledge for meetings. They need stats. They need hard facts.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're the one that, like you said, a grim reaper maybe sometimes going in and saying, "Oh, look at this," and using your analytical brain to actually decipher some of the graphs.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So there's one example with one of our customers, a sales director, won't say the industry, and I was asking, I wasn't just saying you need to get rid of him, he's too expensive. I was asking him what's his pipeline.
Yeah.
And I asked him one meeting and 3 months later,
CRM
nothing were coming in. Yeah. And the answers the customer was giving me had come from the sales director, and they're all quite wishy-washy. Oh, these things take time and blah, blah, blah. And I said to the customer, I was like, well, he started telling me about all the work he was bringing in off a few conversations he's had. I was like, what's your sales director doing?
Yeah, if you're doing that.
Yeah, I'm like, you've had 4 or 5 conversations and you've brought in 6 figures worth of income.
Yeah.
You're paying him 35, 40k.
What's it for?
Yeah.
And that's good,
and that business now has gone from being overdrawn 50k to now it's overdrawn 10k. Yeah. And in a year, it'll be plus 6 figures in the bank.
Yeah. Perfect.
And and without we've just done their year end now, 9 months after the year end. But we were telling him this 18 months ago.
Because it's instant real time. That's the same with our systems. It's real time information about everything your business is doing. And if you've got paper, you're waiting for that paper back. You've got to then collate all the results.
Yeah, and from an accountancy perspective, you're then paying us to do that paper stuff.
Exactly.
And we sometimes struggle to charge you enough to process it and then tell you what it means.
Yeah. So you're only getting the first bit of processing.
When really you don't want that.
No, you want the benefits. You need that, but you want the benefits.
But you want, 100%. Yeah.
Cool. So obviously, last little question now is, has software helped you not reduce the number of staff you would have required, but really kind of make you think about, well, do I need all of those staff when I've got this software program that's doing 2 people's jobs? Those kind of 100%. Hard facts.
Yeah. So in the past we would have had an apprentice typing in hundreds and I mean hundreds of VAT invoices on a quarterly basis, whereas now I can get the customer doing that, or when the stuff's coming in, we're scanning it and we're using a multi-feed scanner to scan it in, and auto entry is doing the processing, and that then is enabling me to get a more qualified member of staff or more experienced member of staff.
Just one person rather than doers. You've got like someone who's really got a lot of experience.
Yeah, and 100%. And what it means is, because again, it goes back to the human aspect. It means I can be paying staff to build them relationships, which is where I think a lot of where it's changing. So you can get the computer or our team in India to do the processing, because at the end of the day, as long as it's being processed and processed right, it doesn't matter who's doing it where, really. No. And then that means we can have the member of staff saying, look, Richard, done your VAT return, sales are going up.
Yeah. Meetings.
100%, which means your corporation tax is going up.
Yeah.
Oh, so what we estimating? Well, based on your recurring revenue increase of, I don't know, 10% a quarter, we're forecasting your profit to be X.
Yeah, exactly.
At the year end.
It's that.
So, and I've noticed that you've only saved X, which means you're a little bit behind, or actually you're in front. So that extra Apple Mac or PS4 for your office that you're thinking of buying. You can do.
Yeah, I understand that. And that's the main thing I was trying to get at there is those software costs that might seem scary to even our customers when we're saying, look, it's going to cost 5, 10, 15 grand to build your system for you. They're gonna think, flipping it, you know.
Yeah.
What's it going to do for me? But once they see how much does one member of staff save you?
Yeah. So like we've been, one thing I've noticed when I've been doing our accounts, when I've been looking at our percentages on our QuickBooks reports, obviously staff has always been the main cost.
Yeah.
Then everything else has just sort of been like 1% or 0% of turnover.
Yeah.
What I've noticed this year is software is 10% of turnover.
Yeah.
And then I noticed on one of the forums I'm on Facebook for accountants, someone else asked, what are you spending as a percentage of turnover on software?
Yeah.
And 10% seems to be the going rate now. Yeah. But then that 10% for us is 20k-ish a year, which when you think that's what we started off turnover-wise.
Yeah, I know. It's scary, isn't it?
8 years ago.
Yeah.
But that's saving a member of staff.
Yeah. Well, more than one, maybe. Yeah.
And the customer's getting better information out of it because I'm not paying an apprentice or I'm not. Yeah, you know what I'm getting.
Yeah. So you're saying really that it's offset. Your software costs are offset massively by the saving in staff members required to do that manual stuff. Yeah,
because all the VAT returns we're doing now on a quarterly basis, and all the cloud accounting customers that we now have, we'd have to have 2 or 3. Yeah, I think
exactly. So, but also it kind of it safeguards you for the future to know that
we can scale.
You're going to scale.
Yeah,
and you're not going to. No. Oh, we're just going to keep getting more staff, going to cost me more money, and then we're just going to make the same profit forever.
Yeah. I was speaking at QuickBooks recently on one of the events they had in Manchester, and that's what QuickBooks gives us the ability to do.
Scale.
Yeah, scale and run leaner.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of our customers say. You know, the software we provide and support them with, once they've got that automation workflow embedded into the business, they're going to work a lot smarter. They're going to be able to scale quicker. They're going to be able to take customers on and have a process rather than, just have a paper based up in, finger in the air. How long is this going to take us? And I think that's the same with your business with the technology you're using as well.
Yeah. I think like change or die is
change or die. We'll leave it there then. Yeah. So change or die is the last, is the last thing from you. Okay. Well, great. Thanks very much.
No, thank you.
And thanks for listening.